Gentlemen, welcome to Walking with J.Beau, an almost daily walking vlog. Hope you are having a beautiful week. As you can see, we have clouds, a little bit of sun trying to poke through. It's in the mid-50s, which is warm for this time of year. So, I'm still wearing leggings with cargo pants over them, some camo ones, long sleeve shirt with a t-shirt on that, and a hoodie on top of that. I should be plenty warm enough. I brought my gloves in case my hands got cool. I don't think I'll need to wear them today. So, if you're new to the vlog, which is actually a walking vlog, pretty much walk every day, weather permitting. Which is going to decline shortly with winter weather, because as much as I love walking, I do not enjoy a treadmill. Thought about getting one, and I declined. I like the fresh air, sunshine, the weather. That's part of the excitement for me. And last winter I got to walk quite a bit, actually, more than usual in the wintertime. And my hands are getting chilly now. So I think I'm going to put the gloves on. I ordered some new gloves. They just have to have, all I require is that they have the touch material on it so I can still operate a phone. You follow? Cut across here. So anyway, we're walking this afternoon. Going to do a basic 5-miler. And so should take about 1 hour and 20 to 1 hour and a half. I do sincerely hope, however, that you are having a good week and that you are happy with things. And, you know, we have noticed, I have anyway, that a lot of these people on the left are not happy right now. Some of these hardcore leftists have proclaimed their departure from social media platforms. They're not doing well, folks. But they'll survive. They'll realize that we don't have an orange Hitler and people aren't going to get rounded up by the police. I just wish one of these days these people would figure out how much they are used by the media with fear, through fear, I should say. But anyway, maybe people will discover the lost art of critical thinking and common sense, and things will be good again. So anyway, looks like the Laken Riley trial on Fox News. Fox News is streaming the coverage of it. Other networks are not. They don't want to hear about Laken Riley, and they don't want to hear about illegals being responsible because of Harris and Biden policies that facilitated it. So, consequently, from what I've seen varying numbers, but basically the basic number is MSNBC viewership is down 36%, CNN viewership is down 20%, and Fox News is up almost 60%. Call that Trump effect, call it what you want. Now that Trump won, people don't have a use for CNN and MSNBC because all they're going to get is the left crying and going out of their way to defame anything that Trump does, which the majority of the public voted for Trump. They don't want to hear it, so I don't know why CNN and MSNBC are going to continue to choose that path. So we'll see if any changes are made at these networks, but I don't believe it. And if they did, it wouldn't be sincere to begin with. Just my opinion. So anyway, I would recommend finding online the prosecutor's opening arguments today in the Laken Riley homicide case. I would recommend people go find that video and watch it as a reminder as to why we voted for Trump. And it even has video footage of one of the perpetrators of that horrific crime disposing of evidence in a dumpster. And he did not know he was on video. But somebody recorded it on their home security camera, and that was the video shown today. So this should be an open and shut case. I'm sure there will be other DNA and physical evidence. And, now what do you do with these people? This person, if convicted, which they will be, a lot of people say they should be deported. But if you deport them, are they going to be punished for what they did? I don't know what happens with that. I have no idea. I don't know what the laws are about imprisoning illegals. But regardless, we have people in an uproar making noise about Trump appointees. All of the people appointed are people that have been targeted or ridiculed by our corrupt justice system and corrupt FBI. And the media is making an awful lot of noise trying to discredit these people. But the truth of the matter is, these people are qualified, and most, if not all, are going to be approved by the Senate. And make no mistake about that, by the way, the American people just decided in a landslide, which is a mandate, that these problems be fixed. We need the EPA fixed, we need the FDC fixed, we need the CDC fixed. These are the people that came up with policies keeping children out of school for politics. COVID protocols was the excuse, but really it was made to make Trump look bad when he was president in an election year. And the kids suffered for it. The other thing that happened is we had the FDA rubber stamping COVID protocols, the CDC and the FDA colluding with one another to declare ivermectin as being a terrible drug with side effects that could kill you, when in fact it's probably one of, if not the safest drug ever developed, and had a good 50 years worth of in-use trials with no issues. So that's one of those things where that was obviously corruption and done intentionally for nefarious purposes, which in the case of ivermectin, which would have been a very, very cheap treatment for COVID, the alternative was expensive prescription medication. In other words, it was corruption geared towards enriching Big Pharma, because Big Pharma has their thumbs on our agencies because of lobbying and big corporate money. And that is why people like RFK and other people appointed are going to do a great job, because they spoke out against it and the government came down on them with the help of the media. And now it's time to pay the piper, as they say. The problem the Senate's going to have is even the Susan Collinses of the world, who do not want to support Matt Gaetz, they're going to have to. Because this is a mandate by the American public, and we want Matt Gaetz, because Matt Gaetz had the Department of Justice go after him and his family. There was an extortion attempt for $25 million from Gaetz. So now, which by the way, the DOJ found that person worthy of being tried for that. It was extortion. They tried to frame Matt Gaetz as having sex with a minor. And it was a setup. DOJ knows that. They didn't press charges against Matt Gaetz. And the media is running around today trying to associate Matt Gaetz with having sex with a minor. All alleged, not verified. DOJ did not pursue any charges, but it's not going to stop the media from saying that. So that is in every single one of their talking points. Whenever they have these experts on, they have a rehearsed line. Matt Gaetz, the accused statutory rapist, and he was never accused of that. It's propaganda. It's BS. Turn these networks off. These people are going to be approved by the Senate because, like I said, it's a mandate. People want it. And these Republicans, including Susan Collins, are going to have to run for re-election. Susan Collins comes up in 2026. And I'll tell you right now, if she keeps pulling this garbage, as it is right now, I'm not voting for her. Now, if the Democrats run out a friggin' lunatic, far-left extremist against her, obviously I'm going to have to vote for Susan Collins. I'm not going to want to. But we don't want a lunatic far leftist who's going to stay in this seat probably for the next 50 years, okay? So this is very important. Susan Collins may have one election left in her, and I don't see any prominent Republicans here taking her place. And so these are things to consider. These options and consequences for not voting for Susan Collins have to be weighed. I'd like to see her get primaried by a good candidate, but like I said, I'm not seeing one in Maine. So that's just the facts, folks. Primarying Susan Collins may very well be giving the Democrats a win here, and we don't want that either. So I'll play it by ear. 2026 is a couple of years off, but the point being, she is in a red district, a large part of her constituency, and she's going to have to get with the program with Trump voters. She's just going to have to, because she won her last election pretty easily. But that was before she spoke up against Trump. That was after she voted for Kavanaugh. And so she always plays what side of the fence benefits her, and I'm sure she's going to get in line with not pissing off the Trump supporters. So I guess my point is to have Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins both state that they're not very happy with Matt Gaetz as an appointee, and they're not going to support him. They have not heard him testify in a hearing either. So they should have issued statements that I will base my judgment on what I hear at the confirmation hearings, because guilty until proven innocent is not a good look. And unfortunately, they have both done that. Matt Gaetz is guilty of being pro-Trump and anti-establishment. He is a lawyer. He has tried cases. So, my opinion, he's qualified. Now, the Assistant Attorney General, Trump named, forgot his name, but he is one of Trump's attorneys that defended him in these bogus hoaxes. And it has also cost him personally. So they went after anybody that supported Trump, and now they're going to pay for that. Because I guarantee you, out of the 15 or 16 appointees that Trump has chosen, virtually all of them will be approved. And if Matt Gaetz is not approved, there will be another one named, and they will be approved. Because the American public has a mandate. The American public spoke very loudly November 5th. So I urge you to call your congressmen and senators, mainly senators, to get on board of getting Trump's agenda passed. This all has to be done within the first 100 days after Trump is sworn in. So we have to be on it. Anyway, whew. As you can see, it's a nice day today. There we go. Flip the camera around. Hi everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. Hope you're having a nice week. And I got a dog going crazy up ahead here. I'm just watching him. So anyway, the Laken Riley case is underway, and you know, Laken Riley was out for her morning jog. All right, she was out for her early morning jog. A lot of people do that 6 o'clock in the morning. As soon as the sun's coming up, they go out there and get their jog in. So these two Venezuelan illegals basically went out hunting for that very thing. They went out with that intent of doing what they did. They planned it, plotted it, and they made it happen. They found somebody running by themselves. So it's very unfortunate that she was out running by herself with no protection. And I highly recommend any females watching this to carry a firearm legally. Do what you got to do to make that happen. Train with it often enough to feel confident in using it, if you haven't already. And carry a firearm with you for protection. It's your Second Amendment right in the United States and the Constitution. It's a guaranteed right. And I carry a firearm everywhere I go, carrying one now, and I train to use it. Anyway, when Laken Riley was found, she was found with her shirt pulled up to her neck, breasts were exposed, her pants were down. She was wearing leggings that people that jog wear, and she was sexually assaulted. And from what I gathered from the opening statement, it was something that went on for a long time. She had things done to her, and she was forced to do things, and then she was killed and it's horrific. I'm really terribly sorry. And it's an example, unfortunately, it's one example of a bunch of others that have happened because we had an open border with unvetted illegals coming here from bad places where their government probably just wanted to empty their jails and send them here. So, if you are a woman who goes out jogging, please carry protection. I don't care what it is, as long as it's legal. It can be pepper spray, it can be anything, if it's legal. So, in a lot of states, carrying a knife is illegal, and then in other states, it is not. So you have to find out the laws for your state and follow those accordingly. It should always be legal. So anyway, that being said, it probably would not hurt you to take any self-defense courses for physical hand-to-hand combat self-defense, because a lot of times, just the simple fact that you put up a good enough fight, these people might change their mind. They don't want to work that hard for their meal, okay? So, now of course, if these other people have a weapon, that changes things. But that's why it would be important to you to carry a firearm and have a superior weapon. So anyway, Laken Riley was killed. Other people were killed just like her. And it's really sad. So we had one that was 12 years old, found naked from the waist down, raped in the same way under an underpass, an overpass, by two illegals. So this is one of those things where the places that they come from, it is more socially acceptable to rape women and nothing gets done about it. They've been raised that way, that's their culture. And they think they can come to the United States and do the same thing, and they're not. So, good news, as at least 1.7 million of these illegals have already been charged and or convicted of crimes. Ranges from all severity. And the police already know who they are, where they are. And I assume that's going to be the first 1.7 million that are deported. Now, the report I saw today was encouraging. ICE and Border Patrol have been informed that many of the ICE and Border Patrol agents that the Biden administration took off duty and gave desk jobs, presumably so they could keep the border open. Because I really can't think of any other reason why they would do that. The Trump administration is reactivating thousands of agents. They're going to leave their desk jobs and they're going to go back to work on the border. And a huge monumental task is going to commence. So illegals are going to be rounded up. They are going to be deported. And you have some countries in Central America who are refusing to take them back. But I'm sure Trump has a plan for them. So, this is going to happen. So rest assured, your vote went to a good place. This is going to happen. And I'm enjoying my vote already. So, With that being said, the agents that have been behind a desk, from what I'm hearing, the majority of them are very excited to get back out there. They didn't want a desk job to begin with, and they're going to be happy to get back at it. So I hope that Biden's 87,000 IRS agents, a lot of them get converted to Border Patrol, and I hope that gets taken care of as well. So anyway, things are happening. It's going to happen fast. It's already 2 weeks since the election and things are happening already. So that's been commentated about in the media as well. That typically when somebody wins an election for president, they name somebody, and then they wait until the dust settles on that person before naming somebody else. But the Trump administration has been guns a-blazing, naming 16 to 20 people. More than half of them have the head spinning of the establishment. And I think that's part of the plan by the Trump administration. Full throttle on the gas with no let up. And the Democrats kind of did that to us since 2020. They just went full steam ahead so fast that people couldn't keep up with anything. That was their strategy, which to some degree was effective. And Trump is going to do the same thing with a Senate under Republican control and a Congress also under Republican control. Now the Democrats are going to be very angry about this, and they will fight back if they get the House in 2026, which is very more than likely is going to happen. That's just how the public works, unless Trump is doing such a great job and people are so happy that they give the Republicans the House again. So the Democrats are running out of scandals, they're running out of propaganda, they're running out of knives to throw at President Trump. He won re-election handily with the popular vote. The voters sent a landslide message to politicians that we are tired of this and we want something done about it. So by default, a lot of these senators, even some Democrat ones that come from red states, are going to be very reluctant to go up against Trump's agenda unless there is good reason or good cause that they can explain to their voters. That's why most experts that actually know about confirmation hearings are saying that just about all of Trump's nominees will get nominated, because it's too politically risky not to, because Trump did not just squeak by, he won in a huge landslide, dominating fashion, and the people of the country have set a mandate that must be adhered to. So the only option the Democrats have is going to be like they did with the Kavanaugh confirmation hearing. Turn it into a circus. Now, the media has less power than they did, so that's going to be less effective as it was. I don't think the American people have the stomach for it. And the Democrats better tread lightly, because they will pay for it. And the Kavanaugh hearing, there was a lot of backlash towards Democrats. And what happened with Coney Barrett? Nothing. Democrats pretty much rubber stamped her without a circus for that very reason. So I can tell you ahead of time, there's at least two of these nominations that are going to turn into a circus. That's going to be RFK Jr. because they don't want him to get too powerful. And Matt Gaetz, who the Democrats do not want him to have this job because he's going to do his job effectively, and he is going to go after these effing bastards that corrupted our DOJ because they went after him. He saw firsthand what they do. Doesn't even have to be true. They just have to come up with a prosecutor willing to take the heat, go after a political opponent like Jack Smith did, and you know, you force defendants to spend tons of money defending themselves. It doesn't matter if they're guilty or not. You still have to defend yourself, and that's not free. It can be free, public defender, but really, you know, a lot of these public defenders just got out of internship. They're brand new. They're using you as a learning experience. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be a learning experience. So anyway, so those confirmation hearings, I think, those two specifically, maybe even Tulsi Gabbard. And you know, I gotta tell you, a lot of people are unhappy with almost all of Trump's picks, except the people that voted for Trump, and that's all that matters. So people are going to call their senators, voice their concerns, and I guarantee you these people will be approved. So if Trump has to resort to appointing Matt Gaetz as Attorney General through committee appointment, he'll do that too. All the Republicans have to do is Thune, who is now the majority leader, just has to declare Senate recess. And during that 2 to 3 week window of recess, Trump can appoint people by committee. There's nothing the Senate can do about it. Typically, that would be a really terrible thing to do politically, because the media would make a big deal out of it, and so would the Democrats. But at this point, nobody really cares. They've shown how terrible they are. And the American people know that. So I think if he had to do that for maybe 2 key choices, I would support that. So I'm going to flip the camera around. You don't have to watch me squinting into the sun. It is warm today. I'm sweating pretty good. 55, 56 degrees. Get my walk in today. I'm going to go shooting tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun. We hit 2.5 miles. I got an older guy here with a metal detector looking for stuff. See if he finds anything. Hope he finds a pot of gold. Oh, we got a hit on something. Whoop, 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 whoop. I made up for it. All right. Sorry about the sun in your face. It's in my face too, making me squint. So it seriously is a time to be alive. I did notice I went to Infowars.com and the website is taken offline. Turns out Infowars was sold, and it was purchased by The Onion, of all things. The liberal left unfunny Onion. So I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere. There was a time where The Onion used to be funny. They did parody humor better than everybody else. And now the Babylon Bee does. And The Onion has gone woke, politically correct, and they're not funny anymore because they're afraid to offend anybody. Which is the funniest thing ever. So, Alex Jones is going to still be doing podcasting. He is a name now. Basically, he's going to have to start over. But anything he makes now will be under a different company's name, not named in a lawsuit. So I don't know if that means they'll open new lawsuits against him. I have no idea how he can filter his new company, if he has one, or if he's just going to work for somebody else. Personally, since MSNBC's ratings are in the toilet and there's been talk about Comcast selling it, I would love to see somebody like Elon Musk buy MSNBC and put Joe Rogan on it, Alex Jones, and a bunch of other people. But I don't know how well that would work for Alex Jones, because he can be controversial. And the last thing we need is another Pizzagate or something like that. If you're not familiar with that, Google it. And obviously Alex Jones made a mistake with the Sandy Hook broadcast that he was doing. So anyway, I'd like to see MSNBC with Tucker Carlson on it, Bill O'Reilly, all of these people that were chased off. But you have to understand that a lot of people have their own thing going now, and they would have to do it in a way that helps their company that they started, because they do have investors. So, if you want to help Alex Jones, he does have the Infowars store still open, and he is hawking t-shirts at $50 a piece as kind of a donation thing. The t-shirts are not worth $50, but he's open about that. He's trying to get something new off the ground. So Alex Jones likes to portray himself as, you know, always needing money, being an underdog, which in that industry he is, but he's also not poor. You know, his wealth is around, from what I've gathered, $4 million. He's worth about $4 million, which by today's standards is not rich. He's not wealthy. And so he's losing his revenue, and he needs to start over, which in this country you can. So we'll see what he does. I like Alex Jones. He's not right about everything, but we need people that are not afraid. So I would love to see MSNBC with people like Steve Bannon's War Room on there, and Tucker Carlson, Bill O'Reilly. All of these people beat up on and chased out by cancel culture. They would be one of the most watched networks. So I'm sure somebody's thinking about it. So anyway, getting a good walk in today. So we just hit 3 miles. We're hitting 3 miles early. So GPS is a little bit off from what it used to be. 3 miles used to happen up around the corner here to the left. So the GPS tracking is a little bit off on foot. Probably more accurate in a vehicle. So we'll come up around the corner here. Typically, we're still not at 3 miles, even though it said we were at 3 miles. It usually says 3 miles when we get to that telephone pole up ahead. So it's in the neighborhood, but it's not right on the money. Typically, this is where it says 3 miles. So we're ahead of schedule. Now, it is getting dark earlier and earlier. So the other thing I want to talk about today is tariffs. You hear a lot of stuff in the media about tariffs. The media that hates Trump. What they fail to tell you is part of what generated the good economy we had when Trump was president was his use of tariffs. Because his people that know what they're doing, the tariff usage is not in the traditional sense. And the reason why tariffs are important and they are feared is because they're effective. There is a firearms, well actually it's not firearms, it is a kind of like a flare gun company. Fox News was talking about it today. A lot of the parts they use in their flare guns assembled here in the United States are manufactured in China. They have announced that they are no longer going to be doing that because Trump has been elected. So, the company that is in China making them is going to be moving back to the United States. This is exactly what Trump was talking about. Now, some of the tariffs will cause some things to go up in price, but because of the GDP growth and things like that, plus the influx of energy increase and lower fuel prices and the less of a cost through deregulation for companies, that this all equals out. And that's what happened in Trump's last administration. In other words, the media is making it sound like Trump is just going to put tariffs on people without doing anything else, and it's going to shoot prices through the roof. They're not talking about Trump's other plans of lowering transportation energy costs by lower fuel, less regulation for businesses. Deregulation will save a lot of cost, time, and money for companies. And it will also, lowering taxes for businesses, will allow them to hire more people. So that absorbs any price increases. And the reason why that's important is because prices are still going to go down with a good booming economy. And the reason why that's good is employers will be able to give their employees raises and hire new employees because they're not being regulated and taxed to death. The biggest benefit, though, is if we ever went to war with China, we need to be able to make what we need here. That is a matter of national security. So there has to be some degree of non-reliance on other people. But the important thing is, regardless of tariffs, Trump's policies will lower the price of food by a lot, as well as the price of fuel, which lowers the price of insurance and everything else associated with that. So we should be doing well. This is going to be great. We're going to have a great time, everybody. No fooling. We did something very difficult. We got him re-elected. All of us did. So I'm going to hang a left here. I don't want to deal with all that traffic today, rush hour. So we'll head down this way where it's a little more quiet. As we just hit 3.5 miles. I see a cat over there rolling around in the grass, having a good time. Hi, kitty. Oh, cat's gonna ignore me. I was over there rolling around in the grass. Across this way. Feeling a little headachy today. Not usually bothered too much when I'm walking, but today for some reason my neck feels a little squirrely. So bear with me on that. So anyway, I think it's very cool that Fox News is covering the Lake and Riley trial. I'm sure the ratings will be good. It will also raise awareness to what people were talking about, because I'm sure a lot of these independents or people that lean left are going to be tuning in. Everybody loves to watch trials. So, I got a short bus coming, short school bus. I am going to zip off to the left here. I'll go up this way. All right. Like I said, I don't know how much walking I got left to do. That'll depend on the weather. The weather, at least for the next 10 days, looks pretty much okay to walk in. As soon as it gets too cold for me is under 38 degrees for a high temperature. And there was a couple of instances where it was colder than that, but we had no snow on the ground. So I went out for a walk. Bundled up, dressed for it. So when I say I'm going to stop walking, what I mean is I'm not going to stop walking at a certain date and then not start up again till spring, unless that's what winter does. But if I have windows in between, I will walk on those windows, like I did last winter. If that makes sense. Excuse me. Nice looking sky today. Not really anything special about today at all, really. It's one of those average kind of days. It's just a day. It's not cold, at least. Dust is settling from the election. People are settling in. It's this little lull before all this hoopla kicks up. And you know, these networks are going to make a fuss because they have to try to make as much noise as possible to get people to watch without realizing that they could be making noise in a more positive way and actually get more ratings. If CNN actually played it straight without having people like Erin Burnett come on with her propaganda, and obviously she has her talking points and everything she says is geared towards trying to coerce people away from Trump. If she would just come on and do an equal show, I'd watch them. But they can't. So hopefully these are the people that CNN get rid of, because it has been reported that they are going to be chopping some jobs. Top dogs, from what I hear. Don't know who. They're obviously not going to get rid of Anderson Cooper and Wolf Blitzer, even though it has been reported that neither one of them are going to get the raise that they think they were anticipating. Chris Wallace has said he's leaving CNN. He's going to go into podcasting on his own. I'm sure he'll have some sort of audience. So we also just hit 4 miles early. Typically I hit 4 miles up ahead, a little ways. Well, the GPS is wonky today. So like I was saying, we'll just watch what goes on every day with this administration. It's going to be fun for the next 4 years, as far as I know. So since Trump is president, so many things have changed already. Just the anticipation of Trump being president, for the better. Right? So it's still sinking into me that he's president. And it was really nice at Mar-a-Lago last night. I hope you got to see that, where Sylvester Stallone was at Mar-a-Lago, said a lot of good things about Trump, said that he was in awe of President Trump, going through everything that he did and coming out on top just like Rocky would, the underdog. And he also compared Trump to our second George Washington, which has the media in an absolute uproar today. Sylvester Stallone has been officially canceled by Hollywood. I don't think he cares. The other big news I want to share with you is about 8 of the big corporations that boycotted X, or Twitter, when Elon Musk bought it, are coming back. Comcast, Disney, ABC News, not ABC News, but Comcast owns MSNBC and these other companies. And Disney owns ABC News. They all pulled up their stakes and their money, and they wanted to hurt Elon Musk because he was giving conservatives a voice. Mainly, he was letting MAGA have free speech, because these companies were in favor of censorship. Now they want to come back. Now that X is a big success, X had a big part in influencing the election positively with free speech. And also, Elon Musk is in the government agency now, even though he's not a nominee. He's a czar. Now, apparently, a lot of these corporations want to kiss his ass. So I'm sure Elon Musk is thrilled because he doesn't have to say a word about it. And it also gives a financial boost to X, who is just barely getting by with expenses, from what I hear. And so this is all good for everybody. So everything's happening good since Trump won. This is awesome. Enjoy it, everybody. So we'll head on up this way. Well, this one is going through. Four and a half miles. About another half mile left to walk on camera anyway. I'm walking at a pretty good pace today. Across this way. Haven't seen a whole lot of deer. I haven't been walking at night too much, so that'll explain a lot of that. Nighttime and very early in the morning, that's the two best times to see deer. So I guess the bottom line is, enjoy the election win. It was really good. They're going to try their best to discredit it and make everybody's vote not count somehow. But we will overcome that. Pretty amazing what we've been seeing. The media right now is so toothless. It really, truly is. It's a glorious thing. Now you got these companies that are going to be going back to X, formerly known as Twitter. A lot of the companies on Facebook are going to start changing their tune because they're losing subscriptions. And people are just tired of woke. I think it has run its course. And that would have run its course whether Kamala won the election or not. I think their days are numbered. People are tired of this and the division. And people obviously are not blaming Trump for the division. That is blatantly obvious. Or else they wouldn't have voted for him. So things are going to get better in this country, financially especially, for a great many people. So I'm going to cut across here, get on the other side of the street, because it is rush hour today, and I don't like that intersection up ahead. It's annoying. Yep, it looks like winter. Everything looks dead. I guess we're here. Now we just wait for the snow, which is sure to come. And again, I'm not running up to optimum today. If I'm not entertaining today, my apologies. Kind of dealing with a headache. My neck feels a little squirrely. If you've watched my walks, you know that I injured my neck when I was a kid. That's just the way it is, folks. I gotta tell you, it's a little, not really depressing, but, you know, we get seasons here, you know? Right now it's about 3:30, and the sun's gonna be going down soon. So, about a month from now, it'll be dark at 4 o'clock. As we just hit 5 miles. If you're keeping score at home, typically it hits 5 miles up ahead at that stop sign or somewhere in between, so we're definitely ahead of schedule with the GPS today. It's not 100% accurate, but that has to do more with internet service. I'm using the one from my company, which is down south somewhere. So the most accurate is through your own Wi-Fi for GPS. So anyway, I'll flip this around. I want to thank you very much for walking with me. Again, I hope you enjoyed the walk today. Probably not my most entertaining one, but this is a daily exercise vlog. So that is part of what comes up from that. And you know, we're just human beings. We don't always feel perfect, and I'm kind of thankful this walk is over today. I'm gonna go rest my bones, take a nice hot shower, and I'll be good to go. So anyway, thank you very much for walking with me today. Click like and subscribe, share the content, and we'll see what else happens in the world to talk about on a future walk. Bye bye everybody, thanks a lot for walking with me, and we'll see you next time, friends. Bye.